Hello there. It's your girl Valerie Mason Chase, and I'm here with the Cookie Man tonight. Say hi, Cookie Man.
Hi, Cookie Man.
So, hey, first one to comment. Boom. Yes, you are, baby daughter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So tonight we're going to be talking about something that happens with a lot of couples. A lot of couples may experience it, but they don't always know how to name it. And what it is when effort in a relationship becomes one-sided or it begins to feel as if it's one-sided. But I want us to just slow down a little bit,
Hmm?
because when there is that imbalance, initially the person may think, oh, the other one doesn't care about me, doesn't love me, or whatever. But it may not always necessarily mean that. Sometimes it could mean that one partner is overwhelmed. Sometimes it could mean that there were unspoken expectations. Sometimes might be some emotional laziness going on. And sometimes it means that one person has become too comfortable benefiting from the other person's effort. So tonight we're going to slow down, we're going to pause, and we're going to ask what's really happening in those relationships? What's really going on? Is this something that's temporary? Is it a season? Is it a pattern? Or is there something deeper going on? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Cookie Man.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
I already got some answers. I already got I got some answers for questions that might come my way.
Yeah, they just might come his way because we already kind of had a very, 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 very brief conversation about this topic tonight. And listen, told y'all before, I believe in transparency here on this platform. And one-sidedness has absolutely impacted our marriage. We've been together 45 years, and for 44 and a half, it's been one-sided.
45?
We've been together 45 years.
2026, right?
This is 2026. We met in 1980.
So that makes it 26 years, right?
Okay.
Well, honey, you said we've been
we've been
26.
together. We've been together 46 years. Married for 45.
All right.
And it will be 46 in August because we got married in.
And what did you say? What was that comment about the weight? We've been together. You said been together 25 years. And
no, you keep saying 20, just like you did last
I know,
week.
I sure did. 40 some odd years. And you said the weight that's been heavy on your side. How many years?
All of them, if you really want to know.
Okay, but you know what? Sometimes there's an answer to that. It's twofold, depending on the people involved, the characteristics.
No, we're talking about us.
Okay, the dynamics.
Okay.
When you have someone.
Who? That you the someone or me the someone?
Like you the someone who, seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
What can happen in a situation like that? Things develop, patterns develop.
Yeah.
And when there's one person who likes to be in charge of everything, make decisions for everything. Now, granted.
Oh, we're going to talk about this.
See, but what happens when a person makes.
Out the gate, y'all.
That's right.
Out the gate.
That's right. So when you are so used to things being done.
Right.
You kind of, like you said, get comfortable.
You get lazy.
And then what happens when it becomes overbearing for the person who created the monster? Then you want to like that shit we talked about on one of our podcasts. You got this big tanker. It's full speed ahead. And all of a sudden you want to pull a brake and turn around. You can't change it that quick, babe. I'm sorry. I mean,
but listen, it don't even have to be quick. Because I started talking about this 20 years
ago. No. Excuse me. No, she did not.
I started talking about this 20 years ago. And wait a minute. I just want to comment on something you just said.
Even though I was
about the someone being me who likes to make decisions and likes to be in charge and all of that.
Yeah.
But honey, not for nothing.
Okay.
I
know where you're
really
going.
don't like it, but I had to
True that.
because
True that.
you weren't doing
True
it.
that. In the beginning, from my
Okay.
opinion, my perspective, I think you liked it. Now, like I said, because when you have stuff like that going on so long, it becomes a burden. Then you start to dislike it and you want some change to happen. And now you want me to kind of step up. And I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm still navigating that.
And you said it takes time.
Yeah.
Well, damn, I'm about to be 70.
Well,
how much more time you think we got?
We need another 4 years.
Oh my Lord. Jesus,
I do recognize from the conversations we've had along this topic, that you get frustrated.
We've had a lot of these conversations.
You start to get resentful.
Yeah.
And again, I'm coming from a part or a perspective. I don't know if it fits. Of I'm comfortable. I was comfortable with you making the trips, going date nights, like we call them nights.
Decisions.
And I got it. I'm telling you, babe. As I look back, like I really believe that's what you like to do. So, granted, you know
something?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you are 100% inaccurate.
Okay.
But I will say that is incomplete because
incomplete. Okay.
just because I liked doing it doesn't mean that I wanted to do it all the time.
Got it.
And that's what it turned into. Me having to make all the decisions and take the lead and do this and for the kids and for you and for me and for us. And after a while, because things got to run, the household's got to run,
sure.
Decisions got to be made.
Excuse
so
me.
I had to keep the ball rolling. But after a while, I'm telling you, it is exhausting. It is exhausting physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to carry all of that weight.
Right.
And I've been talking to you about this for a long time. We've been having these conversations. We talk about it one-on-one. We've talked about it in our couples counseling. I don't know if you talk about it in your individual sessions, but it wouldn't be such a bad idea because maybe you could get some pointers or some ideas in terms of how to step up and how to start to take that lead. Because I get that when you haven't done it, and here you are, almost 70, and your wife is asking that of you. I get that it's not going to be easy.
Right. I'm saying, I'm like, I ain't got enough time to turn it around. So
but
you got to just be happy where you at.
But here's the word. The key word is effort.
Okay.
Sometimes
got it. Right. I saw that.
Just the effort can make a huge difference.
True. But see, sometimes that word effort, that's subjective. Because what is effort to me might not seem like effort to you. And sometimes that's not fair.
Well,
because I could feel I'm giving some effort, but I'm making an assumption. Your response, but it's not the effort I want to see.
Exactly. And here's how I will answer that. Here's the thing. But babe, I make it so incredibly easy for you. I lay down breadcrumbs. I season the breadcrumbs. I tell you where the breadcrumbs are. And all you got to do is just follow the breadcrumbs. Now that is the effort that I would appreciate. But if I've laid out all these breadcrumbs, hey sis, if I've laid out all these breadcrumbs, and you are not putting forth enough effort to even take notice that they are there, after I have said, here, babe, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, and there's still not that effort, what do you think that feels like?
Like I don't care, frustration.
Absolutely.
I don't see you, but again, there is, and you have said, and even in our counseling, you have seen some effort, but I still feel like,
oh, you could do a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, he could do a lot more. And you know what? I know we wanted to talk about this just generally, how it could apply for other relationships, but since this is something that directly impacts us, I wanted us to talk about our own situation because, listen, we don't get on here and just talk about things that impact other people's marriages and relationships. A whole lot of stuff affect us. And we can say in agreement unequivocally that our marriage for over 40-something years we've been together, it's been one-sided. It has been one-sided, babe. I'm not saying you never did anything, but the things that you did back in 1995 can't still count. You can't still get credit for that stuff anymore.
Why not? Why can't I get credit for going out there and shoveling out your car and all that snow?
You know why?
And I'm not even as young as I used to be.
I get
should
it.
get extra credit for that.
But here's the thing, and I've said this to you. That's not my love language.
I know
because, listen to me. Because I can pay someone easily, to shovel out the car and shovel the snow. But Frank, that's not my love language. Okay. That is acts of service. My love language is quality time.
Excuse me.
And physical touch. Okay. Now, if you want to really touch my heart, learn what the love languages that speak to me are.
Well,
quality time and physical touch.
I'll come in the kitchen and touch your butt.
You know what? Let's get to these questions.
No, I'm serious. I'm kind of messing with you like I do. I know this is serious.
It's very serious, yeah.
Okay, but I do know your love language: quality time
and physical touch. Yeah. Okay, so
what's mine?
I have words of affirmation.
Who?
Words of affirmation.
And what else?
And acts of service.
Okay,
those are your love languages.
All right.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
But anywho, I have some questions that I want us to look at in terms of addressing this topic. And listen, if you've ever been, or if you are in a relationship where it has either felt one-sided or it has actually been one-sided, put something in the chat. Tell me what your experience are. What do you mean, ooh, gross, boo-boo, darling?
I felt your butt in the kitchen.
Oh, because he felt my butt? Girl, he done felt a whole lot more than that. So
it was a prelude to you getting here back in 1982.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
So what does it actually mean when effort becomes one-sided in a relationship? So one-sided effort happens when one partner consistently, and that's the key, carries more of the emotional, relational, spiritual, practical, and repair work than the other. It could look like one person being the one to initiate most, if not all, of the hard conversations. One person planning the quality time, one person managing the household, one person apologizing first, checking in emotionally with the other, or trying to do everything in their power to keep that connection alive and strong and vibrant. And the key word is consistently. And we're going to talk some more about that later, because all couples go through certain seasons where there might be some sort of imbalance. And we're not picking in your ear.
Sorry.
We live, baby.
That was a hair. I felt it.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Good thing. Well, I saw said good thing we ain't got no guests. But we do have guests. We don't know who looking.
Listen, we don't even know who's going to be looking later.
I know, right?
Live.
And I'm plucking your ears.
So that's what we mean by when effort becomes one-sided in a relationship. One partner more than the other just essentially carries the weight of the relationship. So what are some early signs that effort is becoming one-sided? What might that look like? Some
early signs include one partner always initiates connection, which you just kind of read about. One partner brings up the same concerns repeatedly
with little change. And listen, I want to park there for a moment.
Oh gosh.
Because you and I, we have lived that in real time. We've had a lot of the same conversations I brought up to you. And not, in the past, it wouldn't always be brought up in the most positive way. It would be brought up in a very accusatory way. But I have learned, or let me rephrase that, I'm learning to have these conversations and approach them in a way that lessens the possibility of you becoming defensive.
Okay,
but we've had the I bring it up repeatedly with little change, some change, but not a whole lot of change. So What are some other signs?
One partner apologizes, repairs, or compromises more often.
Mm-hmm.
One partner feels emotionally alone, even while still in the relationship. Excuse me. One partner stops asking for help because they already expect disappointment.
Yeah.
One partner feels more like a manager, parent, counselor, or pursuer than a spouse or partner.
Yep.
Often the first sign is not anger, it's exhaustion.
It's exhaustion because, listen, it's exhausting. It is tiring. It is fatiguing. It is annoying. It is frustrating to be the one carrying all this stuff and managing everything and having that load. It feels like a big heavy weight on the shoulders of the individual who's carrying the load. And yes, resentment and anger, absolutely, because you get mad sometimes.
But I think anger's first.
I don't think anger's
first. Probably always first until such time that people stop and have the conversation. Then they're better able to talk about why they're angry, they're exhausted, or the exhausting part of the conversation come out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but I think anger rears its head
Well,
first.
anger's going to be there.
First.
I don't know. I don't know if anger comes first. I think the fatigue comes first, and I think the anger comes as a result of having the conversations and not seeing the effort that follows.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. The fatigue comes in first. See, you will feel the fatigue. You'll feel it, you'll see it, maybe in the mirror, whatever. I might not see that.
Right.
What I'm gonna see is the anger.
Yeah.
That's what I see first.
That's what you'll see first.
Right.
Because you ain't noticing when I'm tired.
Good one.
You ain't noticing when I'm tired. So, what might be some of the reasons that people sometimes ignore when that imbalance first shows up? Some people ignore it because they just simply want peace. Because if your partner who's on the receiving end of you carrying the weight of the relationship is not either receptive or at a place where he or she can really hear what you're saying and accept that there is an imbalance, more than likely it's going to result in a conflict, and the conflict has the potential to escalate. So sometimes you just ignore it because you want peace. You don't want to argue about it. Sometimes it may not be brought up because you don't want to seem needy, or don't want to seem demanding or ungrateful or difficult. And for those who are just tuning in, we're talking about when imbalance shows up in a relationship, when effort in a relationship becomes one-sided. And we're now talking about why the one who's carrying most of the load might not say anything at first and might ignore some of that imbalance. And sometimes we become used to overfunctioning. It becomes part of the normative dynamic that we've created in that relationship. And that doesn't mean it's healthy. Overfunctioning is never healthy, but sometimes you just get in a routine, in a routine, in a routine, in a routine. You become so used to it, and you don't even notice that the imbalance is even there to bring up until that exhaustion really sets in. And Jackie said, and depending upon your profession, it can feel doubly exhausting. Yeah, you're carrying the weight at work and at home. Ain't nowhere for peace or sanctuary. You are so right, sis. You are absolutely right. And I definitely can concur with that because as an RN, I had to carry a lot of weight. As a counselor, I'm carrying a lot. And then in our relationship, in our marriage, to have to carry as well, that it makes it feel even heavier. And you're right. You wonder sometimes, where can you have peace? Where can you have solitude? Where can there be a sanctuary? Where can you rest? Absolutely.
What's that?
Oh, that was Sadell who said that. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. So I don't know why I thought that was Jackie. Because okay, that was Boo Boo who was talking about carrying a lot. Yeah, you're right, baby. Yeah, but those are some of the reasons why the person who's carrying a lot might ignore it and not say anything. Because sometimes you don't want to seem needy. You don't want to seem ungrateful. Because especially if every once in a while your partner may show up and actually do something and put forth some effort, because that has happened to us when I brought up that conversation to you, and you'll say, but Val, I did so and so and so, and I did so and so and so, and I did so and so and so. And what do you remember what I would typically say to you? What my response usually would be?
Trying to think.
Well, one of the things I would say is, well, if after 20 years or 25 years or 30 years, depending upon when we're having the conversation, or if after 40 years, you can sit here and name every time you put forth a real effort in our relationship, that's sad to me.
Yeah, but see, is that the time to bring that up?
No, but you brought it up. If I'm having a conversation with you and I'm saying to you that, babe, I'm feeling that our relationship is one-sided because I'm not feeling the effort from you.
Yesterday I went out and got you whatever.
Yeah. And if you can name everything, then that means you ain't done much in 40 some years.
Or maybe I just got a goddamn good memory. I can remember more.
But if you can name them all, babe. But and if you don't even get to the second hand because you hear and you don't even get to put up finger number 6. That's pitiful.
Well, Lord have mercy. Now I'm stammering. I could name a lot more, but you just say, yeah, that was 6 months ago. That was.
Okay.
I get it.
You get it?
I get it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm listening. I hear you. I see.
Yeah. All right. I want you to see me. I want you to hear me. And then I want to see the change that results from your seeing and hearing. That is where the rubber really meets the road.
Okay.
That's where the rubber really meets the road.
Look, I'm showing up today. This is quality time. I'm right here next to you, baby.
Read the next question.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can we recognize imbalance without immediately moving into resentment? We recognize imbalance without resentment by becoming curious before becoming accusatory.
Right. Become curious. Okay. And what are some examples?
Well, I guess curious, you're asking questions as to why something's not being done.
Right.
Okay. Next one, or you want to answer? You want to?
No. Okay. And instead of saying what, you might say this. How might someone rephrase it instead of making an accusatory statement?
Okay. Oh, right. We talked about this. Instead of beginning with, you never do anything. We can start with, I'm noticing that I've been carrying a lot of the emotional effort lately, and I want us to talk about it before I become resentful.
Right. Okay. You want to start talking about it before the resentment sets in, because it's not just healthier, but it's easier to address and fix before the resentment comes in, because once resentment is there, it takes a lot more to counteract all the other stuff that have transpired. When
resentment pops in, like you said, you got the accusatory turn. What's the word I'm looking for? Tone.
Right.
Then on the other side, person, in this case me, I become defensive.
Right.
And we're just going back and forth.
You go back and forth. So when you name the imbalance and you bring that concern to your partner and you initiate the conversation, it's not creating a conflict, but what it can do, it might prevent deeper conflicts or other conflicts from happening. Because, listen, I'm a firm believer that most things in a relationship can be handled with a conversation or several conversations, if both partners are willing to really be open and be reflective, be self-reflective, and not just point the finger at your partner, but also for us to look at ourselves and ask, okay, well, what part did I play in this? Because I know the part I played because I enabled it. I enabled that behavior because I kept doing certain things. And it was years before I broached the subject. But by then the pattern had set in and it was so difficult to come back from that. So we talked earlier about sometimes it being a temporary thing, or is it more of a pattern? So what's the difference? When it's temporary and it's just a season, there's certain there's a context to it, and there's an awareness from both partners, and there's going to be some communication that's going on. There could be a season where one partner is ill. There could be a season where one partner is feeling overwhelmed. Maybe they have a very demanding job and there's a sense of overwhelm that they are experiencing, and they're not necessarily carrying their weight in the relationship. They could feel emotionally depleted. It could be a season where one is caring for a ill family member. Um, so there are certain seasons because every relationship, every long-term relationship is going to go through different seasons where, and we're talking tonight about where there might be some imbalance during those times of seasons. But when there is a pattern and there's no ownership, that's can be harmful. Um, because there's no change. It just carries on. One partner keeps taking, one partner keeps avoiding, one partner keeps minimizing or benefiting from the effort that the other partner is putting in, and there's no meaningful change. So the question isn't, are things equal every day? Because we know in reality it's not. It just the better question is there mutual responsibility over time? Because as I said, relationships go through seasons. So what's another question we want to
What role
address?
do unspoken expectations play in one-sided effort? Unspoken expectation can create silent resentment.
I want to pause there for a minute.
Okay.
Because sometimes people have this thing, well, he should know or she should know. If they love me, if they really love me, they would know. I'm not a proponent of that. I believe in each partner clearly communicating to the other what your needs are, what your longings are, and what your desires are. So it's difficult to meet a need that hasn't been expressed.
Well, no, that part I would agree with. But what I was thinking about, I think in a relationship, especially long term, there just are some things you do know.
Yeah.
Whether it's what can make someone laugh, what can make someone cry, what pushes their buttons. But like I said, you can't expect me to meet a need that
I've never voiced,
communicated to me.
Exactly. See, those are, from my perspective, those are two different things. On the one hand, you learn certain things about your partner because you're paying attention.
Right. Okay.
On the other hand, there are things that each partner communicates to the other in terms of what they may need, what they may want, what they may like. So those to me are two separate things, because if you have an expectation that hasn't been voiced, I think it's unrealistic to make your to think that your partner is going to automatically pick up on it. It's great when partners do, but we know in reality partners don't always automatically pick up on things. When we're paying close attention, we know. But I also believe there are times when we should clearly communicate to our partner what it is that we want, what it is that we need, what it is that we're longing for. So if you're just coming on, we're talking about when effort becomes one-sided in a relationship, and it may lead to resentment, but we want to talk about it before it gets to resentment. And Sadell said, but if over time those things change, it falls on you to express what has changed. Absolutely. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. I do strongly believe that if my needs have changed, and obviously they have, I need some different things than I did back in 1980 when we first met. The onus is on me to share that with you. My needs have changed. I used to like so and so and so, but you know what? Kind of don't really need that anymore. But what I would prefer is blah, 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 and have that conversation with your partner. There are some needs and some things I like that haven't changed and probably never will change. For instance, I love jazz. I've always loved jazz. I love to go to shows. I love to go to musicals, and I love doing and going to concerts. So things like that probably won't change, but some other things just might. Oh, I know. Oh my goodness, your foot. I'm touching your foot. Oh, that's right. I forgot he got bad feet, and I'm stepping all on him. Sorry. So, we hear that term emotional labor a lot. So, exactly what is emotional labor and how does it show up in a marriage or in a committed relationship?
Yes, emotional labor is the invisible work of managing the emotional climate of the relationship. It includes noticing when something feels off,
Right.
initiating repair, remembering important needs, softening conflict, checking in, managing tension, and creating emotional safety.
And that's a whole lot. And imagine if you are the only one, or if you're the one who engages in all of this 80% of the time, 90% of the time. So you can see how that can definitely be exhausting, because it's not just about the physical stuff, it's also about the emotional stuff when we're talking about emotional labor. And it becomes unhealthy when one person is always doing it, monitoring the connection, trying to see what's going on between us. What can we do to make our emotional connection stronger? What can we do to help our relationship be healthier? When one person is carrying that and the other person is just sitting back, wow, that's a lot.
Shall I continue?
Well,
well, honey, you skipped the whole thing here.
But I think I said that.
Well, okay.
But go ahead, you can read
well,
it.
no, the one doing the emotional labor may eventually feel unseen, unappreciated, and emotionally drained.
Yes.
I know what that looks like. Okay.
Unseen, unappreciated, and emotionally drained. Emotionally drained. And here's the thing. I think when that level of exhaustion sets in, the one who's been carrying all of the emotional labor eventually might stop. And then what happens to the relationship? If the one who hasn't been putting forth the effort, that obviously is not there. And the one who has been putting forth the effort, out of sheer exhaustion, stops. What happens to the relationship?
Well, one or two things can only happen. The person who's been enjoying the ride is going to realize something's different, and maybe he or she needs to step up, or there's going to be a lot of infighting. There's just nothing going on with fighting about stuff. Oh, I think we'd be arguing more. So that's one or two things in my mind is going to happen.
And see, your first comment, I agree with. If the one who has been benefiting from the partner carrying the emotional load notices, then perhaps he or she can step up. But I don't think that they'll be arguing. I think it'll be just the opposite, because the one who's been carrying the emotional load for all those years and out of sheer exhaustion just stops. The other one might see it as peace and think that everything is okay.
Well, that's
and not recognize the level of indifference that has taken place in the relationship. Because, see, some people think that the opposite of love is hate. It's not. When we're talking about a romantic relationship, the opposite of love is indifference. When that one partner has just checked out and they just don't care anymore. They're not making those dates any longer. They're not saying, "Hey, honey, how about this?" Uh-uh. The other one may turn around and they'll say, "You know what, babe? Uh, me and Shaniqua, we're going on the girls trip. Next month we're going down to Tampa. We're going to be there for 4 or 5 days. Boom. Or you know what? Me and Rhonda, we're going to a play. Or me and so, we're going somewhere else." Or something to that effect. Or I'm going by, I got a ticket for me, and I'm going to see Joe Turner's Come and Gone on Broadway.
You know what? Depending how connected they are, the other person might say, "All right, be safe, have a good time. Let me know you got there when you get back. I'll be here when you get back home."
Exactly. Because that means you haven't even picked up on the fact that I'm no longer talking about you and I doing things together because I'm tired of and I've been doing it for so long and I don't want to do it anymore. And now it's either me or me and someone else that doesn't include you.
Okay.
So yeah, it could be arguments, but I think there's going to be just the opposite of that.
Okay.
So we talked something about people who overfunction in a relationship. So how could overfunctioning contribute to an imbalance?
Overfunctioning, happens when one partner does too much, often to keep the peace, like you said, avoid disappointment, or prevent the relationship from falling apart. The overfunctioning partner may say, "If I do not bring it up, it will not get addressed. If I do not plan it, it will not happen. If I do not apologize first, we will stay disconnected." But the danger is that overfunctioning can train the other partner to underfunction, not intentionally always, but say that word again?
Relationally.
Relational. One person becomes responsible for everything, and the other person becomes comfortable doing less.
Absolutely. So, yeah, overfunctioning, some of it, I believe, is because that innately is who we are. And some of it is because we already know if we don't do this, it ain't going to get done. If I don't make that appointment, it won't happen. If I don't remind Frank, did you call your GI doctor? Frank, did you call your cardiologist? Frank, have you made an appointment with your vascular doctor? Frank, have you made an appointment with your podiatrist? Because we already know if we don't say it, it won't get done. You won't spontaneously on your own just do it.
Guilty as charged. And but and it's we chuckling, but I guess that's a sad state. Because I know you're going to do it. I consciously, since we talk about it, I can say it out loud.
Keep it
But
real.
away from the screen, unconsciously, I know you're going to do it.
Yeah, and you've got.
I might do it I might finally do it when I'm crawling on the floor and I'm at my last leg or something like that. But
yeah, and that's when I am so pissed off at him. I'm ready for him. He's got to go to the emergency room, and I'm saying, "Listen, get an Uber. I'm done. Get an Uber. I'm not taking you to the emergency room again because this is completely unavoidable. If you would just listen." And the irony, let me share with you all the real irony of this, okay? Because yes, I am a licensed professional counselor. However, before I became a licensed professional counselor, I was an RN for 42 years. 42 years. So if I am sharing medical information with him, trying to get him to take care of his health, one would think that he would listen. But no, not Frank Bernard Chase Jr.
Oh, Lord. Oh, government.
He wouldn't do it. So that's why, after talking to him and encouraging him, go make an appointment with your GI doctor. And there have been times when I wanted to just make the appointment myself, but that's just too much enabling. And then when he gets to the point where he's just doubled over and he's, listen, call the Uber. I'm not going to that emergency room again. Leave me be.
Now, I know that stubborn silliness, craziness, whatever. But in my defense, when I have gone to these doctor's appointments, and they always can't seem to find, give perfect example. Oh, Mr. Chase, you having those stomach issues because of something, once we remove your gallbladder, you'll be fine. Gallbladder come out.
But that's not what he said.
Yes,
no, that's what you heard.
You weren't there.
No, I was there.
Anyway, let me finish.
That's not what he said.
Let me finish. So when they go and they're tried, poking and can't find anything or whatever.
But that's not true.
Bother me at the time. By the time I get there, then stop.
Oh, hold on.
I just
okay.
don't.
Now let's just tell the whole. No, you gotta tell the whole story.
Well, let me tell it. Maybe I'll tell the whole story.
Okay, go ahead. Let me see how much you want.
Cut up. Go ahead. Take it over. Go ahead. See, in control.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, baby.
Because you're not telling the whole story. Okay. It isn't that nothing is found. When something is found and there are specific instructions given, you don't follow through.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
You don't follow through.
Don't have enough fortitude to follow through with a plan of medication, whatever. Because usually when things stop hurting, I'm good to go. But they come back.
Of course, it's always going to come back because you got to be consistent. And see, that's something that we know that you've struggled with as long as I've known you, and probably all your life. Probably even before I met you, you might have struggled with consistency. And that is the key. Actually, I think consistency is the key in a lot of situations, especially when it comes to a relationship. And when it comes to your health as well, there's got to be some level of consistency there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where we at?
Why is it hard for the overfunctioning partner to stop carrying everything? Because you know what? It is scary. It's risky to think about taking a step back. Because especially when you have children, there's no way I would have stopped doing that when our children were young. Because just imagine that you are the one, you're carrying these babies in your hand, okay? And now you decide, okay, I'm going to remove my hands because I've been over functioning and now I want my partner to step up. If I remove my hands, what's going to happen to my babies? They're going to fall. So overfunctioning is risky. Okay, I mean, to not overfunction is risky in that regard because we don't know what's going to happen. We cannot count on with any degree of certainty that our partner is really going to step up and show up.
Was that a generalization thing you just gave, or you being more specific? Because as you were saying that, and the question came out, I was thinking that might have been one of the only clump of time where I think I was my most consistent in terms of helping out with the babies. Kids. That and your mother, those 2 times.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you did good while the kids were little.
Okay. All right.
But when they got older, that's a different story.
We ain't talk about that. I just want.
And what you really, really, really stepped up with Mama. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I can say it out loud and on here because I said to Frank, there was a lot of our marriage when Frank was a piss poor husband. But he was one hell of a son-in-law when it came to taking care of mama. He was there with me all the way. At anything that mama needed done, Frank would do it. Um when she couldn't even sit in the shower any longer in the shower chair because the Parkinson had her so stiff, Frank would hold her up. He would get in the shower with her and he would hold her, and he was getting all wet and everything, but he would be in there and I would hose her down, not hose her down, but with the shower thing and soap her up and rinse her off. And he would carry her back to bed. I'm telling you, Frank, that is one thing that I really, really love you for and really appreciate you for, is how you were there for me when I needed you to help me take care of mama. Because I know I could not have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without you. But when it comes to all the rest of being a husband, you left a lot to be desired, babe. But
Okay.
Whatever it was, we still here.
There you go.
Whatever it was, we still here because I mean, they have a saying now. The young folks have a saying nowadays that somebody is for the streets. You was for them streets. You was for them streets, for them streets, for them streets. That's the short. My name is Valerie Mason Chase. So yeah, I done lost what we was talking about now. So, how can a person bring up a conversation about the relationship being one-sided? Thank you, E. Nicole. Without blaming or attacking their partner.
Use language that is clear, specific, and emotionally honest. Give an example. I am noticing that I am usually the one who initiates our serious conversation, and I'm starting to feel alone in the work of keeping us connected. Or, I do not want to become resentful, but I need us to talk about how effort is being shared between us.
Right. And the goal is never to shame the other person. It's not at all. You don't want to shame. You don't want to blame. You don't want to point fingers, but you want to approach it in such a way that you make it about us working together and each of us putting forth effort in the relationship for us to get healthier.
I mean, learning how to do what we just read about, that in itself is a task. To learn how to communicate like that.
It is, but you know something? We're doing it. We're learning to communicate that way.
Honey, we've been together since 1980. God damn, excuse me. We're really getting better.
But listen, there are some people who have been together for 40 years and 50 years, and they still haven't.
Sure.
Learned. They haven't either learned or they haven't. What's the word I'm trying to use? I can't think of the word right now. But they still struggle to communicate in that manner.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I am a huge proponent for young couples to get counseling. Before you get absolutely get premarital counseling. And even if you didn't have premarital counseling and you have a young marriage, get some counseling, because the counselor can help you learn how to communicate more effectively. Because I'm telling you, effective communication can avoid a whole lot of conflict, a lot of arguing, a lot of disagreements, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of misunderstandings, when you can communicate effectively. And yes, it has taken us a long time to learn how to do this. Let me rephrase that. We are still in the process of learning. We are much better at it now in terms of communicating effectively than we were back in 1980 when we just met, or 81 when we got married, or even maybe not even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're in our communication is evolving. And it's growing. Yeah, Sadell said you had some streets named after you because you was in the streets so much. You're right, baby girl.
My daughter.
Your father He was in them streets, and he was blessed to marry a woman of faith who was there. Yes.
The blessed part, yes.
He was blessed. Most of those years you were in the streets, I was home praying. Now, some of the prayers I was praying was for a Mack truck to hit him, but I was still in prayer.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. We've been here 50 minutes already. So if there's going to be some repair in a one-sided relationship where there's been a lack of effort, what might that look like? What might that look like? It requires obviously an apology, but it requires way more than an apology. It requires some acknowledgement by the one partner saying, I can see that you've been carrying a lot, but you got to go further than that. What's going to happen going forward?
That's a question for me.
Just in general, what do you think? What will happen go forward?
Well, going forward, like I said, change. Let's say, from using myself an example, changing my part, a willingness to take the lead in some of these things you've been talking about, essentially lighten that load.
And this main word right here.
Consistency.
Because the partner who has been carrying the load, they don't need your words. That's lip service. Okay? Because if this conversation has taken place before, there's probably been some words that were said. Okay, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And after a while, those words become meaningless unless there is some real feet tangible behind them. Your words need to have feet. Your promises need to have feet. E. Nicole said, all of us have fun laughing over there, dying laughing. We love you too, E. Nicole. Don't forget, we got a date next Sunday. We're going to talk about where we're going.
Oh, really?
Told you that. It's on the calendar.
Oh, you're not to get too heavy hanging out with your girls again?
I'm hanging out with my girl. I already told you.
Okay.
Me and E. Nicole, we hanging out next Sunday because I haven't hung out with E. Nicole in quite some time, and I miss her. I miss spending time with her. She's been a true friend. Sadell said, but you have to be specific when saying what changes will be made and follow through on what you say. Absolutely. You are so right, Sadell. You got to be specific. You can't just say, well, I'm going to do better. Okay, what is your better going to look like going forward? I'm going to change. Okay, well, babe, help me understand what some of those changes might be going forward. You have to, you're right, baby. You got to be specific in terms of what or how it's going to look different going forward. When should someone consider setting stronger boundaries around one-sided effort? And I do believe that every relationship needs boundaries, even within the context of a marriage or a committed relationship. So what about setting boundaries, Frank?
Yeah, stronger boundaries may be needed when the conversation has happened repeatedly, but nothing changes.
Yeah, and that's key. When you've had the conversation, because you don't want to just have one conversation and then nothing changes, and then you just say, look, well, you know what? Screw this. I'm out. I do think that your relationship deserves more than a single conversation. Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, it definitely deserves more. And depending on how long the relationship is, you're going to have more than one conversation. It's inevitable.
Well, here's the thing, though. You don't want to have too many of these types of conversations.
Okay, well, yeah. Fair enough.
You don't want to have too many where you're talking about the one-sidedness in terms of effort in your relationship. Hopefully, you'll only need to have one, but depending upon the capacity of your partner, where they are in terms of emotional intelligence and willingness to really put forth the effort, you will probably need to have the conversation more than once, because we do have to consider capacity and take that into consideration as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, where was it? Okay. A boundary may sound like I am no longer willing to be the only one initiating repair. I am not going to keep planning connections if you are unwilling to participate.
Mm-hmm.
I need us to
Mm-hmm.
seek counseling because this pattern is affecting my emotional health.
Yes, and I think that that is a great lead in when one partner desires to have couples counseling for their relationship. You can phrase it that way because the dynamic that's been existing in the relationship is impacting your emotional well being, your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well being is impacted by that imbalance. And I think that a partner who really cares about you and about the relationship, I believe that they would be willing to take that step towards counseling, if nothing else.
Yeah, there were two key words in there, small but key.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When the person says us,
right,
and then affecting my, in this case, if you're speaking emotionally, there's no accusatory
right. There's no accusation there.
Accusations.
Yeah,
you're just asking your partner to help.
Yeah, because if you say, "Listen, you making me tired. I can't do this no more," and I have said that too.
True. That's for sure.
Like I said a few minutes ago, my approach has not always been calm and sweet and effective, but we are getting better in terms of how we communicate within the context of our relationship.
Okay.
And I would encourage the partner who's on the receiving end of the conversation regarding boundaries not to perceive it as a threat. It's not a threat because sometimes it's a matter of self-preservation to set healthy boundaries. Now, it's the one thing to set the boundary, it's another thing to enforce that boundary. And that's where I believe sometimes the challenge really comes in terms of when it comes to boundaries. So, yeah, tonight we were talking about when effort becomes one-sided in a relationship, how it can lead to resentment, how it can lead to anger. We also talked about how this dynamic is set up sometime when one partner might be over functioning. And there'll be various reasons why someone would overfunction in their relationship, but that kind of supports the one-sidedness in the relationship. We talked about how to initiate a conversation with your partner when you have come to the realization that, yeah, I've been putting forth all of this effort and I'm not seeing effort on my partner's side. So we've discussed those things. So those of you who might just be tuning in now, at some point you can go back and listen to on YouTube, yeah, or Facebook, and check it out and hear some of the things that we discussed. And if anyone is listening live or later, and if you have not already done so, I would very much appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. And those of you who are subscribers, if you would like and share on the YouTube page, because I understand that does something with the algorithm or whatever happens with all of that. And I just want to encourage anyone who's listening, if you are struggling in your relationship, whether you've been together a year or if you've been together 40 years, I encourage counseling. Seek out couples counseling and be willing to try more than one individual because not every counselor is going to be the right fit for every couple. And that's why a lot of times I will have a free 15-minute consultation, either with individuals or couples, because I already know I'm not the right fit for everybody. And I already know some couples ain't the right fit for me. So be willing to interview, because that's essentially what a consultation is, more than one person. If you go to a session and it doesn't seem quite right, okay, you might say, oh, this is a one-off. You might want to try it again. But if after the second time you come to the conclusion collectively that this is not a good fit, don't give up on counseling altogether. Try to find someone else. Some people say, and I've heard people say a lot, well, counseling doesn't work. Couples counseling doesn't work. Well, counseling works if you work it. If you approach counseling with the mindset that I know that there is work that we have to do as a couple, I know that there's work that I have to do individually, trust and believe it will be very, very, very effective. But if you approach counseling with the mindset that the counselor is going to do all the work, no, it ain't going to work, because we as counselors should never work harder than the client. We are there to provide tools to help help a client to gain insight, to reflect, and all of those things. But we are not there to do the work for you. We don't have fairy dust. We don't have a magic wand. But if you are willing to do the work, counseling will work for you. So I want to thank those who have hung in here with us watching live. I want to thank anyone who might be watching later. And again, support your girl. Like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. All of the above. You'll find us there. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. And next week, we're going to be coming back and we're going to be talking about grief, but not in the way we typically talk about grief. We're going to be talking about grieving the relationship you thought you'd have.
So she's going to be out on the call next week.
I am. We're going to brunch.
Oh,
me and Nicole are going to brunch. I'll be back in time.
All right.
I'll to do the podcast. At least I hope I will. Because listen, me and Nicole, we have shut down some restaurants.
I ain't coming to get you. Like you and Dr. Danita, I ain't coming to get you.
Me and Nicole, we have shut down some restaurants. We have been places and we have talked and hours and hours and hours that we were there. But yeah, next week I will be back. And we're talking about grieving the relationship you thought you'd have, because sometimes we enter into our marriages and our relationships with an idea or an expectation of what we want it to be. And then when it turns out to not be that way, sometimes we have to grieve it a little bit. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So I want to thank you again, those who have been here. I love you and have a great week.